We are here with Professor Cecconi of the LdM Institute to talk about sustainability and nutrition. Professor Cecconi, how can we make more informed food and consumption choices that are better for the environment?
Yeah, for sure, if we follow the Mediterranean diet pattern, we already are going into the direction of being better also for the planet, for our environment. But for sure, another interesting choice that we could do on a regular basis is to go for whole food that has not been processed, for example, or that comes from areas which are close to us. In Italy, we used to say chilometro zero, which means kilometer zero, 0 kilometer. And it means that we are encouraging, we try to look for food that is produced and comes from areas that are the closest to where we live. Because this means that probably these food have not traveled a lot to reach our table, that they have been harvested in the right moment so that they are in season. And very often this is also related to the lower processing that these kind of food have to face. And this is for sure a sort of I think an interesting message to send, because the conscious choices can be done all over the world, of course. So choosing a vegetable or a fruit or any kind of food items that comes from an area which is close to us, it's of course always better for us and for the environment. To give you an example, in the Mediterranean diet we prefer to go for blue fish, which comes from the Mediterranean Sea and is close to us, it's good for us. But if somebody who lives in Alaska has to go for fish, for sure the message is go for fish that you find in Alaska. For sure you can find good quality there, good quality, good nutritional quality for you as an Alaskan person. So this is really a key message.
What can each of us do to become more aware of our own eating habits?
Yeah, I think that everybody of us knows more or less what is healthy or not, let's say at very high level. But it's true that it's not easy to get consciousness of what we eat, if you're making the right choices or not. And one of the activities that everybody of us could quite easily do is keeping a sort of food diary. And the food diary is also one of the activities we ask to do to our students in the course of nutrition studies. So basically we ask to keep track, so take notes of what they eat on 3 or 4 or also 1 week or 7 days, 7 consecutive days. And try to write down what they eat, also the quantity that they eat. This really helps people, if they then go back to what they have written, realize what they have eaten and realize whether they have eaten, for example, the same thing for multiple days, or if they are not eating vegetables, if they're not eating fruits. And in the context of our course, let's say that the guys start writing this diary almost at the beginning of the course, and then while learning more about healthy diet composition, better choice for them, the objective is really for them to improve week after week what they are eating, so that they can acquire more consciousness about what they are eating and then change what is not very good or not perfect and keep the right habits.
What are your opinions on dieting fads? For example, that avocado is a healthy food and that olive oil makes you fat.
This is one of the things that especially these days we have to face on a regular basis. And also myself as nutritionist, I also hear a lot of people asking me, but what about this, what about that? I heard we can find a lot of fake news as strange information, and they change from one day to another. The suggestion here is really not to believe in everything we read, and we always have to keep in mind, to bear in mind that a healthy diet always include a variety of food that we need to have on a regular basis along our days, along our weeks, along our months. And there's no single food that is able alone to solve all of our problems, or on the contrary, to be detrimental completely for health. It's always a matter of servings, so quantity of food that we eat and frequency of consumption. And to go back to the question, when it comes to avocado, for example, avocado is very popular recently. It has a lot of intrinsic nutritional properties, is very rich in healthy oils, is very rich in some vitamins which are very powerful antioxidants like vitamin A and vitamin E, is very rich in fiber as well. So why not? Of course, is also very rich in calories, so maybe not every day one avocado, maybe on a regular basis some avocado to be added to a salad. So we always have to think about the food we have in a intelligent way, let's say. And when it comes to olive oil, of course, in Italy, nobody has to touch us our extra virgin olive oil, because we are very in love with this product. And also in terms of healthy diet, it has been demonstrated that olive oil as main source of fat is really what has protected us from the cardiovascular diseases mainly. And extra virgin olive oil, of course, is a fat, meaning that in terms of energy content is extremely concentrated. So 1 tablespoon of oil has already 100 calories, which are a lot. But this doesn't mean that it makes you fat, because of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, you can have maybe a couple of tablespoons per main meal, and this will never be alone be the reason why people are fat. It's always the all eating habits that makes the difference.
What is the difference between olive oil and extra virgin olive oil?
Extra virgin olive oil, which is the one that nutritionists suggest to consume as much as possible as main condiment, is an oil which is extracted only with mechanical methods and has a very low level of acidity. In this case, this oil, from the organoleptic point of view, is also very good in terms of smell and taste. And also from the nutritional standpoint, it's able to keep the nutritional properties, in particular the antioxidant power of vitamin E. Then there are other kinds of oil, for example the olive oil, which is already very different from the extra virgin olive oil. Also in this case you have a mechanical extraction, but the level of acidity is much higher. And the difference is quite easy to perceive in terms of taste. Then you have other kinds of oils, and amongst them you have the Sansa oil, which is extracted via some chemical methodologies. And in this case, both the organoleptic and the nutritional features are pretty bad. So it's just from time to time used for human consumptions, but for sure it doesn't have the same features of the extra virgin one.